I'm going to provide a bit of context for this story. I live in the West Coast with my family, but my dad has a lot of family in Wisconsin, and my dad's cousin was getting married and our family was invited. I was 9 or 10 at the time. We stayed at this really nice hotel with my dad's side of the family. I have very few cousins my age, so when a kid I met at the hotel who looked my age asked me to go swimming, I said yes. My dad at the time was drinking at the bar with my mom, my grandmother, and my aunt. So I told my mom, the only sober adult, that I was going swimming. My mom said okay and gave me the key card to the room so I could change. I told my friend I would meet her at the pool and I went up the elevator to my floor. As soon as I got to the floor, I saw a very suspicious man walking around and looking into rooms. The rooms had living rooms before you go into the bedroom and had windows. I had to walk right past him to get to my room. As I walked past him briskly, I caught him staring at me. I hurriedly unlocked my room and I went in. I double-locked the room and grabbed my bathing suit. In the middle of adjusting my bottoms, I had no top on. I heard a terrifying pounding on the door. I heard slight mumbling saying, "Let me in, I need to get in." He kept saying the same phrase over and over again. At this point, I started to panic. I left my iPod with my mom and didn't know how to work a phone in the room. I sat in the bathroom tub shaking and trying to put my top on. Once I got it on, I scrambled into the bedroom and tried to figure out how to use the phone. After about a minute or so of him looking into the room and knocking on the door, it fell silent. I waited a good minute to see if he had actually left. Once the minute went by with no knocking, I opened up the hotel room and I booked it out of there. I didn't even see him on the floor when I left. After all that, I went to my dad and told him about it. We then went to security, and they found him outside the hotel building holding a homeless sign. To the guy that traumatized 9-year-old me, let's not meet again. So this happened around a month ago. I was at our local big Walmart here in my hometown in Ontario, Canada. I am a 21-year-old female who, after many of my situations, just started going to the gym. I'm a tiny girl, and I also look 15, as I've been told many times before. I was walking around Walmart getting snacks for my boyfriend and I's date night. I was down the candy aisle when I noticed the sound of a very loud cart behind me. You know, the one with the super squeaky wheels? Yeah, one of those. I'm a very observant person, thanks anxiety. So I ended up looking immediately when I heard the cart. There was this man, probably mid-30s to early 40s. I ignored him for the time being. I continued to grab my boyfriend his gummy worms and myself some peanut M&Ms. I left that aisle with nothing weird happening. I continued to the pop aisle because that's where the energy drinks were. I grab our monsters and I start to leave as I hear the squeaking of the wheels again. For context of what I was wearing, since that seems to matter to some people, I was wearing an oversized t-shirt and track pants as it was April in Canada. Not really that warm, but I turn and this gentleman is now standing smiling at me. As I overthink everything, I try to think of possible reasons he needed pop. It was a complete accident we ended up in the same aisle, right? I don't know, but I brushed it off. Still on guard, of course. I walked around the store a little bit to try and lose him. I didn't see him again, so I assumed he left. I was very wrong. I went to self-checkout as our Walmart is pretty big, strictly self-checkouts now. I started ringing my items through and packing them into the bag. That's when I hear the wheels once again. As soon as I turned and looked up, I saw it was the man looking me dead in the face. For more context on how our self-checkouts are laid out, the tills are attached to half of a wall, which has treats and chocolate bars attached to them. So that's how he ended up looking me in the eyes. I quickly finished absolutely panicking at this point. I rushed out of the checkout area and started for the exit. Now, salting the ground in winter is very normal, and when the snow melts it leaves very noisy, grainy salt. Very distinctive noise when you walk through it. Keep that in mind. So I'm carrying the key between my knuckles. At this point I was internally freaking out. When I heard someone walking behind me in the salt, I knew who it had to be. It had to be that man, right? Without even turning around, I knew it was him. So I slowly pulled my phone out of my pocket and put it to my ear, acting like my mother had called me. Just saying the basic like, "Hey mom, yeah, I'm at the Walmart, just walking up to my car now. Yeah, I'll be home in 10 minutes. Oh yeah, I'd love to stay on the phone while I drive home." Loudly enough, creepy dude could hear me. That's when I heard the sound of feet turning in the salt and him running away. I got to my car and instantly locked the doors, as I do every time I get in my car. So to the creepy dude following me around at Walmart, let's never meet again. To start this off, I will be giving you some clarification. When this happened, I was around 7 or 8, and I got the other half of this story when I was a bit older. It was spring break and my parents wanted to use the week off to go visit my grandmother. She lived alone and we thought it would make her happy to see my sister and I. It was a 5-hour drive and I was tired by the time I got there. My little sister wanted to go play with the toys in the playroom, which just had to be in the basement. I took her by the hand as we trailed down the basement steps, and once we were at the bottom, I flipped the light switch, lighting up the room. Now, when I was a kid, I tended to hallucinate when I was tired, so this being the case, I never noticed anything wrong. To explain the layout of the basement, when you're walking down the stairs, there was a wall to your right and a room to your left. There were shelves and boxes filled with toys along the left wall, and the corner furthest from the stairs was the darkest corner in the room. There was a little window in the basement leading to the outside, and for some reason I never noticed it was open, so we naturally continued to get out some of the toys to play on the floor. While we played, I noticed a tall man in a black hoodie in the corner of the room. I remember what he was wearing because he had a black fedora on that I found funny. I also happened to notice that he never spoke, just stared at my sister and I. Mainly my sister. I figured something was off about that, but at the same time I did hallucinate quite a bit when I was younger. Over the course of time, he started inching closer to me. I managed to drop my toy train and he bent down, handing it back to me. I politely said thank you and carried on. My grandmother's voice called us from upstairs, so we left the man in the basement to enjoy our dinner and sleep for the night. The next morning, the man was gone and the window basement was closed. Years later, I found out through my mother after I had mentioned it to her that the man was in fact real. It turns out he had broken in, and when my grandmother and my mother went into the basement to clean up the toys, the man was hiding behind one of the boxes. They had to call the police to get him to leave. So to the man in the basement who almost abducted me and my sister possibly, let's never meet again. Oh my god, it has been so long since I've told a horror story. Good god. If anybody watched this, or if anybody who originally watched my videos ends up watching this, I want to say how sorry I am. I know in the past I said I was going to get back into this and stick to it and all that, but god damn, man. I've been gone a long time. I am so sorry. I ended up losing the ability to get into this account, and I also was like really lazy back then, so... But I'm back. I am back. I swear I'm back. If you enjoy my horror stories, or if you want me to keep doing them, I promise you, I'm here to stay. I really am this time. Jesus. I am sorry again, guys. Again, if you're one of my original viewers from this channel when it started, I hope you're still here, and I hope you enjoy the new stories I'm telling. These were 3 short Reddit Let's Not Meet stories. I wanted to start with something kind of simple, kind of slow at the same time, so I could get back into it, but also get something that was decent out, you know what I mean? But yeah, guys, I am sorry. I've been away for so long because I lost access to this account and everything, but I am back. So if you enjoyed, let me know, and if you want me to keep going, please also let me know. And if you're one of the originals, I'm so happy you're still here. Anyway, I'm probably gonna edit some bloopers in on this because I can't read for shit, so I hope you guys enjoy and have a great day. I was at our local big Walmart here in my hometown in Ontario, Canada. I am a 21-year-old, no. I started ringing my items through and packing them into the bag. That's when I hear the wheels once again. I snapped up and I was looking at this man in the face when, what? As soon as I turned to look at this person. Now, salting the ground in winter is normal, and when the snow melts, it's... My little sister wanted to go play with the toys in the playroom, which just had to be in the basement. I took her by the hand and we trailed down the basement stairs, and once we were at the bottom, I took her by the hand, and as we trailed down the basement stairs, oh my god. I took her by the hand as we trailed down the basement stairs, and once we were at the bottom of the steps, I flipped the light switch, lighting up the room. Wait. I took her by the hand, and as we trailed down the basement steps, oh my god. We stayed at this really nice hotel with my dad's side of the family. I have very few cousins my age, so when I told my friend I would meet her at the pool and went to the elevator. I told my friend I would meet her at the pool and I went up the elevator to my floor. The rooms had living rooms. Before you go, I had to walk right past him to get to my room. As I walked past him briskly, I caught him staring at me. I hurriedly unlocked my door and went in. After 1 minute or so of him, after about a minute of, once that minute, oh my god. Once that minute when, oh, why is reading so hard?